Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Psychic Tarot Show, coming to you live here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels. If you're following us on YouTube, you might want to come on over to Rumble, where you can access, oh, here it is. All this incredible content. Some of the things that we do not cover on YouTube, you can only find over on Rumble. So make sure you go on over and check out the Beyond Mystic Rumble channel if you haven't already done that. And if you're on Rumble, please help us up our subscribers on YouTube by jumping on over there. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's start funneling more and more people in this direction. And you can find me on the Beyond Mystic consultations page, where you can book a 1-hour reading with me. These readings are recorded, so you can go back and listen to the information that comes through at your leisure. Oh, I got a frog in my throat today. Okay. So let's jump into the forecast. We'll have a look at what is potentially on the horizon for us in this upcoming week. So we are at the end of November. Wild Black Friday madness here yesterday in Canada. It's so interesting. I actually went over to visit my daughter in Vancouver, and I thought, wow, it's crazy. People are out Christmas shopping already. It's just, the roads were busy, the stores were busy. And then finally it dawned on me, oh, right, it's Black Friday. It's literally Black Friday day. So for those of you in other parts of the world, I don't know if this has become a phenomena, but it's just so interesting, right? It feels like there's this expansion of the energy of that consumer-driven momentum that's coming at us so powerfully this time of year. So I don't know if that's going to come up in the forecast. We'll see what shows up, and it's lovely to see all of you familiar faces. Hi, Lupo and John, Vicky, Angeral. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Of course, Suzanne and Bright Angel. Lovely to see so many of you here on a regular basis, and know that your energy is making the frequency that we are basically opening and tuning into that much more potent, that much more heart-centered and special. So take a moment as we begin this reading. Open your heart, ground down, tap into that beautiful magnetic frequency, that pulsing frequency that's at the center of the toroidal generator that is our earth home. Breathe that up into your body. Feel your resonance, your alignment. I like to say this is how we claim our birthright. Like it or not, this is home for us at the moment, and we belong here. We have something important that we came here to do. Many, many important things. So claim it. Be here. Stand strong in your earth 3D first chakra. The first chakra is that heart, that center of the magnetic toroidal field. That's our earth home. Right at the center of that is your first chakra. So tap down into that, ground it. And then also tap into your soul star, the universal consciousness. Feel that frequency. Open your arms. Feel it radiating from all directions in the universe, just like gentle, warm rays of sunlight. Just breathe it in through every pore. Pull that into your heart. Be very present here today, because, boy, we've got big things. We always do. My dear friend, who I spoke with recently, we don't see each other as often as we like, but we really hung out a lot right over the 2012 sort of transition time. And we used to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how things are changing and how big the energy is. We just joked the other day when we were talking, we were like, snicker, snicker. Yeah, it hasn't stopped. it hasn't stopped since then. So I guess looking back in a blip of time on this planet, if we look back to this phase, we could say, oh, yeah, 15, 20 years where it was just wow, off the charts wild. That's not that much in the whole scheme of humanity. But for those of us on the ground right now, it seems daunting, doesn't it? It seems like this is a forever game we're in somehow, one of those dreams you can't wake up out of. Let's turn this quasi nightmare into a beautiful dream. Yeah, have you ever done that in your dream time where you're able to come in lucidly and go, wait a minute, I don't like the plot. I don't like how this is going. I'm going to do something to send it in a new direction. Just spoke with another one of my dear friends, Charlene of Adarsha. I've spoken to her. We actually did a little interview with her here on Beyond Mystic, Feng Shui consultant, geomancer, and she and I did an interview that I'm putting up on my YouTube channel, speaking about the end of this year of the wood snake, which comes to a complete end somewhere in early February 2026. So there's a lingering dynamic here in this final section of the shedding of the old. So you might want to go over and check that out, where I'm posting that up tomorrow. But yeah, it's this feeling of we're really steeped in it right now. We're steeped. And it seems a bit nightmarish, I think, for a lot of people. Our hearts, our vision, our, I want to say, higher intelligence knows almost that this is necessary and that we can see the great expanse, the beautiful potential openings. And yet it's that last 10% that's just like, whoa, everything that's shadow is coming up for everybody. So I really feel that this week. I think I had to go on a little bit of a rant. Let us pull the cards up here, make them a bit bigger. Check on over into the chats, see how everyone is feeling. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Sunshine Grease, lighting some Palo Santo for us to cleanse before Advent. Yep. And animals have souls. The Black Friday shopping frenzy is craziness. It is. Yeah, so what we were talking about, Charlene and I, was just how this particular segment of time, because we're all personally doing all of this final kind of, when you're cleaning, you get down to the dregs, the hardest graft is that last bit. And it's the same with our energy cleansing. And this year, the whole year of the wood snake started in late January 2025. It's all about shedding the old. And really, this is the hard work. It's the stuff that none of us want to do, right? Well, I wouldn't say none of us want to, but once we get in it, we might be like, oh, this is more than what I bargained for. I don't like it. And now it's even more than what we bargained for, because the lessons, the feedback, the stuff that's coming up to be purged, it's all coming at us so quickly. And it could feel like it's going the wrong way, right? It could feel like it's getting worse, not better. And we're like, I should be feeling better. I've done all this cleansing and clearing and intention setting and grounding, and I've done all this purposeful healing work, or, my practices to make the world a better place have gotten better and better. And why are things looking worse and worse in some respect? So again, I like to think of the image of the labyrinth. Have any of you walked the original kind of labyrinth, which is this beautiful ancient system, by the way? It's a metaphysical system to remind us what the journey really looks like. And so when you go into the labyrinth. The goal is to get to the center, but you have to do all these, hairpin twists and turns and everything. And the last part you do is all the way around the outer ring of the labyrinth, the furthest away from your goal. You have to go back. You have to finish off by closing the circle with the whole outside edge, going further away from the destiny you're heading to. And I feel like that's where we are. I feel like we are in that outer ring, and it seems like we're so far from where we're really wanting to be. And yet it's always such a surprise because you finish the outer ring and boop, you go right into the middle and you're in the new upgrade. So I feel it's a kind of a test. That labyrinth shows us that the journey of life is a bit of a riddle. And the closer you get to I want to say the prize or the real well earned upgrade or evolutionary upgrade, the challenges get more extreme. So I was supposed to have that little pep talk with you. And yeah, look at this. Here we go. First card down. This is it. This is that. We saw this card. It was there last week. Yes, I remember. I think it was over here somewhere. um, so the moon is that deep, deep unconscious shadow process. And it's the place, it's our hopes, our dreams, but also our fears and our self undoing. So I've been saying before that fire horse year gets into full swing, we want to finish this year out and actually complete this karmic cleansing. Because if you leave a little bit, it comes back with a vengeance, doesn't it? We really want to complete the shedding of the skin. We don't want to leave a little bit for it to fester. So this is it. We're in this. We're in it to win it, everybody. We're in it to win it. Let's see what the rest of the wheel presents, how we're going to be held in that. Ooh. Okay, this is positive because in a Earth house, Taurus, we have an Earth card, Pentacle. This is a hard work card. Now, everything else that Taurus are known for, one thing that they have is they are probably the most tenacious, pragmatic. Like once they put themselves to a task, they will just get in that groove and follow through to the end. So I'm really feeling like engage in the Taurus energy, everybody. Really invite in doing the practical things. And especially this affects our finances. It affects, we were just talking about the spending all this money, all that extravagant outpouring of energy. It feels like we're really putting our money into the things that we value the most, that we want to see grow. So what you invest in over this holiday season, what you put your time and energy into materially is going to have a huge consequence. I'm hearing for the next decade or more. This little phase that we're in, this last couple of months of the year of the wood snake, it is about resetting the tone of productivity. What does it mean to be productive? It's not just about making money. It's actually about making something of value, doing something meaningful in the material realm. Wow. And it's fun. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to do things, to complete practical tasks, to manufacture something that has real value. Fascinating. Let's see what's in Gemini. Okay, Gemini's feeling this week quite optimistic in our thinking and in our strategy, the willingness, we have this is the Six of Wands in Gemini, victory, little victories, baby steps, jumping over all the little hurdles. Gemini is a strategy. We're willing to stretch out the goals a little and make sure we jump over every hurdle. Dot every I, cross every T, really be meticulous, especially anything in the material realm. Complete things. Think about like, and this is this week, but it actually is extending over the next month or two. So it's completing out this year, completing out the year of the wood snake. The victory is also in sight. We have, you see that V there? Do you see how the between the middle wands, it makes a V? And he's looking through those wands and seeing it's in his sights, the victory. That's very encouraging. It keeps us engaged. So even though we're all feeling this, and I was saying the analogy when I was speaking with Charlene, it's kind of like we're out maybe socially, which happens at this time of the year, but we're also feeling like, I don't want anyone to know that I'm crumbling or this isn't working or, I'm having this health issue or financial issue or relationship issue or personal, existential crises or whatever. And I got the analogy of literally, when you're changing at the beach and you hold the towel up for your friends so they can change, and then they hold the towel up for you so you can change. Recognize everyone is shedding skin right now. And so when you are, and I don't mean in a gross way, but I mean, everyone is doing this purging, clearing, and feeling maybe a little bit like embarrassed about that. So when you're socially interacting with people, choose people that you trust to be like, hey, will you hold the blanket up while I fall apart? And then I'll do it for you. And then we'll get over it and go, let's go swimming. That feeling, because we want to hide, but this is not hiding. This is us wanting to hide. And this is going, don't hide, but also don't feel so personally like you're the only one going through all this. It's a time to feel that we can see the goals, the end of the struggle in sight here. Okay, home. I want to see what's across from this before I make my final analysis. This is 8 of Swords in the House of Cancer, which is our home. Now, there's 2 ways we could read this, and we'll look together when we get up to the top of the wheel and see how we're going to read it. One way we could read this is that we might feel like we want to just stay home and hide. And the other way to read it is that we need to not do that. So let's look across and around and see what comes up, because I feel like that's kind of like what I was just saying, right? That we're going to be wanting to hide. Do you see how this person is they've got a lot of stories going on, and they're feeling more and more victimized by everything that seems insurmountable, exactly what I was saying over here. And we could really end up going down some spirals in the next, few weeks, but also even this week. So maybe not a week to stay home and hide. Let's see. We'll see what's around it. Okay. Leo. Whoa. Definitely not a week to stay home and hide, everybody. Okay. Leo is, what do we know about it? It's gregarious, it's extroverted, it's generous hearted, big, warm hearted, positive. I mean, that's a lot of the positive attributes of Leo. The sun is the best card in the 78 of the tarot. whenever you see it in a reading, it's like, thank you. There's a blessing here, a real blessing, and it's in Leo. Courage, being, you know, being larger than life, stepping into your extrovert, whether you're afraid or not. Look at that. The moon in the self and the sun in Leo. So, probably not a good time to navel gaze and go inward and be all like, I'm, you know, having an existential crisis. It's even though you might feel like you want to do this, the suggestion is open your heart, live from a generous place, recognize that everyone else is feeling the way you are. They might show it differently, they might hide it, but you know. You know, because you are tuned in with tools like the tarot to be like, yeah, this is going on for everyone. I love this. It's so warm feeling and positive and hopeful feeling with that 6 there. So don't tell yourself too many stories, folks. This is going to look really different within the next 6 or 8 weeks. It's going to look very different. Mhm. Oh, whoa. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Are you with me, everybody? I just got to jump over to the comments. This is an exciting read. Wow. This is an exciting read. Yeah. So the devil is in the details. Virgo is about the details. The devil is in Virgo. The devil is in the details. We could get really bogged down and be making a lot of stories about any number of things. Pick a topic. It's like Virgos get very obsessed. There's a little run in that fabric and they've just got to pick and pick and pick at it, right? You know that where there's like a little, I don't know, a catch in something and you're just constantly picking at it or picking at the scab. Don't pick at things this week, everybody. Don't pick away at. Keep working. Don't get caught up in the little details that aren't working. Keep this momentum of, you know, look at that. I went like that and it pushed the moon right away. Keep this rock solid Taurus style, like 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, you know. Your practices, whatever your practices are are you a woodworker? Are you a musician? Are you an artist? Are you whatever you do it this week. Roll up your sleeves, do things, stay busy, not just busy for busy's sake, stay productively busy. And expect that there's going to be this feeling. It's funny because we're moving out of Mercury retrograde, but this feels like it goes with a real, I want to say it doesn't go easily, this transition, in terms of a lot of things going awry. And it's that thing where you're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, can anything else go wrong? Don't say that, by the way. My spiritual mentor, Martin Prechtel, he used to say, when you get close to the end of something, don't tempt fate by saying, oh yeah, I got it. I got this under control. It's all perfect, because poof, you want to stay really focused on your intentions, but beware of, he calls them the last minute demons. And that's what this feels like. You could get very, very fixated on something that's not working and it feels important. Let's see what's on the other side of this devil. Oh, yep. Look at that. He's being routed out of his hole. So this is also collectively and in the larger global arena. The the rats are being rooted out of their holes this week. There's more controversy, there's more pressure being put on that energy, and it's like a super cleanse. The earth, the planet, politics, the environment, social dynamics, human interaction, it's all going through this big cleanse. Again, the final energies of this wood snake year. Now, I hear some of you are there going, Ashala, you guys were saying it was the final like 3 years ago. Actually, if you go back and listen to me, I didn't say that much. I said, we got to get used to this because there's going to be a lot of more of this. And am I saying this is the final? I mean, Meg and I were talking about, I think it was in January, February, there was that whole energy around something had gone out of Pluto and Capricorn or something. Anyway, I remember all of that where it was shown that we were moving out of this old, long-standing gross dynamic. And then Meg even said, but we're going to go back into it for a little bit more before we really move out of it permanently. So we had a taste of moving out of it. Then things often retrograde back so that we can do the final cleansing and clearing to really take charge, to take hold. Now, this is coming up in the house of Libra, our longer, I want to say longer or more serious committed partnerships and agreements. So old agreements, especially around partnerships that are unhealthy, old chains, you see like the chains that the Lavish have around them. It's these things, these agreements, these old oaths that were taken that were disharmonious, out of natural law, power imbalanced, those things are going to be, I want to say, almost null and void. Like we're going to need to replace them with new agreements. So even in your relationships, for those of you that are longstanding married, have the conversation this week about, you can be beautifully happily married, but sit down and say, if we were to write, I'm getting chilled when I'm saying this, if we were to rewrite our vows now, what would we say to each other? Can we just design something where, the good old fashioned way that people did the hand fasting, where they literally, they reset their vows every year to say that, we've come so far. Obviously, there are permanent aspects to these beautiful agreements that are about, sacred commitment. However, how we act on that does shift through time, and we've all gone through such a change. So this is really health giving, healthy. Do you see how healthy this new growth looks? It's the Ace of Wands. It's bringing health and vitality into our relationships, and anything that isn't working, we want to dismantle that now. We want to say enough of that. Let's change the agreement. Let's update it to be more relevant to the frequency beings we are now. Wow. Okay. Scorpio, ready for it? I don't mean just you Scorpios. I mean, what does Scorpio mean for all of us? Endings and new beginnings. Oh, right. 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 Wow. We can really let things go for good. We can let stuff go for good. Wow. I mean, I want to say, for those of you longtime readers, are you noticing something here? Chime in the chats if you're noticing this with me. Just having these cards here, would be a little concerning if we didn't have this, 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 like, there's so much, look at this line of positive, really, really, like, Taurus being so well aspected with this energy of patience, perseverance, staying in, productive. And the 6 of Wands in Gemini, like the ideas, we're committed, new commitments. Look at this. It's just beautiful. So the overall tenor of this spread is, yeah, let's let that old stuff fall away now and recommit with this whole new energy and frequency. I love it. I mean, yeah, Scorpio, endings and new beginnings. Does this look like an ending or a new beginning? Looks like an ending, an ending. But right beside it in Libra, new beginning. Literally, this is the new growth card. Nice. Sagittarius are another one like Leo that has to do with our courage, our sovereignty, our spiritual commitment. Valor is the name of this card. Valor, meaning we hold the high ground. Wow. This reading is so incredible. Wow. I just got to take it in for a minute. Just stare at it. We're not even done yet, but this is extraordinary. A really monumental week for claiming new territory in both metaphorically, metaphysically, with 3, and materially. Claiming new territory, holding the high ground. Do you see how he's up holding the hill? He's not only holding the hill, he's actually stitching together the landscape. He's straddling the divide. He's holding it all, but beautifully balanced. And, it's funny, you look at this character's face, he looks a combination of like, wow, am I really doing this? It's kind of like the look on his face is like, this is kind of cool. It's a little bit like, I gotta be really focused, but there's a sense of, and look at that. Gemini, 6 of Wands going up to the 7 of Wands and Sagittarius across from it. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm being shown like the game of snakes and ladders right now, and I'm being shown like there's some real ladders going up this week, and there's some snakes going down. But don't worry about the snakes, is what I'm hearing. Don't worry about that because you're actually climbing way more than you're falling. Interesting. How's it feeling? Aw. Right? Sauron's evil tower falling. Right? Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. And up in Capricorn, where we get kind of, it's a bit Capricorn, and the placement of this on the wheel is a little bit like the ground that we gain. It's interesting, he gets up to this high ground and he's earned the right to stand there because he had to get up there. Like, this is that 6 of Wands, climbing, climbing, climbing. There's all the hurdles, all the steps. You don't get a result up here in Capricorn without doing the work to get there. And there's a lot of setbacks if you think about the goat, Capricorn is climbing the hill, and they get up to a certain point and they're like, "Uh-oh, I can't climb anymore because this ledge stops. So I'm gonna have to backtrack, drop some things, and take a new direction." So let's see where we're at. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. The two earth signs, Capricorn and Taurus, both very well aspected with earth cards, pentacle cards. So staying in productivity, staying in your lane. Wow. I mean, this guy literally he's the most hardworking sort of, I want to say, practical, consistent, dependable of all the cards. All 78 is this one. And he's up in that house of Capricorn, which is it's the result of how we've climbed, how we've strategized, how we've self-actualized. It's the house of self-actualization, of purpose. So this is certainly not the time. Remember I said we were going to talk about this down here? It's not the time to freak yourself out by looking over the edge of the cliff and being like, "Oh, I'm just going to hide." It's definitely the time to climb and be very positive. Don't really be aware of not going into these negative spirals. And I think this socializing versus hiding out is because we often tend to spiral when we're alone, don't we? We often tend to kind of go down those negative spirals when we have too much time on our own with our own thoughts. So, yeah, it's not about just distracting yourself with socializing, but it's also not about spending too much time going into those negative stories. Just stay on track, stay in your lane. Mhm. Yep. Ooh. Okay, we've got a few. We've got a double here, double sixes, double eights. So two of a kind represents mastering something. So the sixes are harmony, service, reciprocity. So we're mastering that. The eights are about productivity, momentum, motivation. So those are the two things that we're mastering this week. Six of Pentacles, a lot of harmony coming from sharing the burden. So generosity, gratitude. This is in the house of Aquarius, which is your friends, your neighbors, your community, your social networks. So looking on the bright side and looking at what you have to share. Many of us are feeling the pinch, and maybe we're feeling a bit like we don't want to just, again, excessively spend money or spend any money commercially on things, but you may have other things to share. Goodwill, random acts of kindness are going to go extra far. It's always good advice, right? Any week I could say that, but this week it's our guides are saying it's like universal law is saying, "Hey, we'll match you do a random act of kindness and we'll match it energetically." It's like an incentive program. So whatever you do that benefits another individual, an animal, the overall collective here on planet Earth, whatever you do that is helpful and generous spirited, it will have more than double the impact that it normally would. Hmm. See? Because right, look at this across from it, the sun, everything is expanded. You could say in a way that everything is magnified. So if you focus on the scary stuff, oh boy, you're going to be down. Woo! It'll go far. You'll be able to follow that thread and just unravel your life with it. But if you focus on what you have that you can bless the collective of this planet with and do something or challenge yourself, how many things can you do this week that send out that ripple and know that spirit is more than matching it? So that could create a tidal wave that's really swooshing all of this old dark energy, old stuck dark energy, clearing it for us. Pretty wow. It's a pretty wow week. Pretty wow. Final. Ooh. Waiting for it. There's a sense of a surprise, which we are nervous about. I've been speaking with so many people that are like, it feels like the hammer's falling. It feels like something. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. So we're nervous about something, but while we are sort of hanging in there, we are growing new consciousness. So for some reason, we're being asked to wait a bit longer with that suspension, and don't start making a big story about it. Oh, I mean, this is so if I was doing a personal reading, I'd be kind of like speaking with the loudspeaker to the person right now. I'd be like, this is so critical. This moment of really watching which way you direct your attention, because it's going to have extra effect. It's going to be quadruply magnified in the negative if you go there, and it will be doubled or more than doubled in the positive if you go there. So it's sort of like there's an incentive to go positive because it's going to be even better than normal, but there's really a big motivation not to go negative because it's going to really exponentially grow right now. And again, these metaphysical principles, you could say, well, ASHALA, this is like reading the astrology in the paper. It's always good advice for anyone. Yes, they're always good advice for anyone. Most of what I've said is often very good advice for everybody. But what happens with these forecasts is it shows us what is going to have extra impact more than normal. These things will have extra impact this week. So, this devil in the details will be extra tricky this week. Trickster. It's a trickster energy. You could be tricked into really seeing a scary scenario. And we're going to see this collectively out in the media too. There's a lot of trickery. There's going to be like literally a lot of fake stuff put out to scare people. So be very, very, if basically the question is to ask yourself, is there something I can do about this right now? If not, I'm not going to bite the hook. Don't bite the hook because there's a lot of hooks. Those dark forces are trying to get their hooks into us because they are being pulled out, like the parasitic energy. When you're doing the parasite cleanse, it's hanging on. It's hanging on. Eat really strong because it doesn't want to be killed. It doesn't want to be, destroyed. Whew. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Vicky. Mhm. So, final card. Oh, we end off on a very sweet note with our Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Jump into the chat, tarot readers. Tell me what you associate with the Queen of Cups. I want to hear from you. We're going to do a collective reading on the Queen of Cups. What does the Queen of Cups mean to you? So I used to tell a story about this Queen of Cups when I did readings for people because I found her very what's the word I'm looking for? Mysterious. Still find the Queen of Cups very mysterious. And the story that I would tell is that the Queen of Cups is the most feminine. It's like the double feminine. All the queens are feminine, and then the water is the most feminine of the four elements. So it's sort of like double feminine energy. And in the exalted form of that is the most healing, the most psychic and intuitive, the most nurturing, the most compassionate, like really the very best healing energy through that Queen of Cups. However, in her negative side, which, if we say the feminine has gone through a period where it has been oppressed, repressed, hijacked, manipulated. So we don't see as much of this healthy representation of the Queen of Cups. We see a lot more of her unhealthy representation. Her unhealthy representation is that she can be codependent, she can be passive aggressive, she can be emotionally manipulative, she is needy, she is fearful, paranoid, you might even say. So if you think of all those features on the one side, passive aggressive, emotionally manipulative, needy, codependent. And then you think of all those positives. So that, seeing how we see all of that playing out in the world right now, that negative feminine. And then on the other side, the positive feminine, nurturing, healing, intuitive, compassionate, empathic, sensitive, forgiving, eternally loving. I mean, we're literally straddling those two sides of the feminine. It's a feminine healing that we're going through right now collectively. So when I see her in the middle like this, I feel like she's being pulled out of the garbage can. We're pulling the feminine out of the garbage can and saying, let's focus on the divine feminine attributes and let go of all of that imbalanced, manipulative, fearful, scarcity, overreactive. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Cups water. The queen has and shows satisfaction for action. Hmm. Anybody else want to say? Oh, yeah. Lupo is saying introspection. Thank you, Lupo. She is introspective. She's literally holding this incredible chalice, and there's a feeling that it is like a cup or a chalice that she is scrying And scrying is basically where you look into a body of water often and you see images, shapes appear, kind of like looking into the crystal ball. And you tune in and you're very introspective, contemplative, intuitive, listening, ears open. R.T. Tucker is saying, emotional manifester. So again, are we manifesting this or this? Because we're right on that line this week. It's going to be just a hair's breadth. Yeah, just a hair's breadth. You could feel almost like strangely disoriented by that. This could be very disorienting this week where you're like, oh my gosh, everything feels so beautiful. And then all of a sudden it's like so scary at the same time. Remember the labyrinth, go out all the way around the periphery. We're on that last turn of what feels like we're being pulled further away from the goal. But we'll find the completion of that and then walk right to the middle. Mhm. Yeah. I'm so glad that she appeared. I feel her healing all that we see in this spread. Thank you, Vicky. Yeah. All right. Well, look at us go. So I'm going to bring up the slides here again. You know where you can find me. Jump on over there. You know, this time of year, December and January are my favorite times to do readings for people, and around their birthday is another favorite time. But this time is a great time because it is a lot about setting us up for the tone of the year ahead. So if you've been contemplating it, you might want to use that coupon code below and book yourself a session. Got some spaces right now. And oh, speaking of codes and coupons, look at this. The IAP, we've got the Black Friday sale is on one more day. I guess it's on till midnight tomorrow. I guess that's midnight Eastern Standard Time. So Friday 50, all in capital letters, is the code that you're looking for. And yeah, make sure you take advantage of this while it's happening. If this is what you'd like to have available to you, it's a great deal. And let's have a look at the schedule. What's coming up this week? We have Sunday, Monday, little spaciousness. Take a pause. Go outside, roll up your sleeves, get doing something in the physical 3D. Tuesday, we're back with Crystal in the Beyond Karma show, where she is doing such beautiful readings with people. I was tuning in last week. I was like, wow, people have been asking her some very challenging questions. I was saying, I'm surprised that she's doing so well with it because I would be daunted by some of the questions that have come up. So just know that's a risk, you know, as a reader to read for people publicly when everyone else is listening. You just can't quite hold the same sacred container that you can in a personal session. And I really encourage those of you that have questions that maybe are more appropriate to ask in a public setting to jump on over there and ask her some ask her some more questions that aren't quite so intense and full on. I think she would really appreciate that. And Beyond the News, coming back Tuesday. So I look forward to seeing you here next week. And this is going to be a powerful week. It's going to be a week to be very aware of where you're putting your energy, but think about that, paying it forward. Some random acts of kindness. Think about the productivity and keeping your head out of the devil in the details. Wish you a beautiful week, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you here again next week. Bye for now.